What I wanted to say, what I remembered I wanted to say, and I agree 100% because I have a shelf of tons of books on it. I have my vinyl collection.
Yeah, man.
I have my CD. You got it. It's a must. But you guys, Broken Teeth, did the absolute best tribute song to Lemmy and Motorhead out of all the ones that were done. And Metallica did one, and a lot of other bands did them, and some of them are very good. But you guys blew it out of the park.
Thank you for that. Yeah, Never Dead. So
Never Dead.
So I have a little bit of a romance with the story of how that came, and I believe I may have told you the story before. I went and saw Motorhead, and it was just a mere months before Lemmy passed away. He came out and played 3 songs, and he came out with a cane. They propped him up. I was like, oh shit, right? And everyone was kind of like murmuring and, like, oh my God, kind of a thing. And they go in and the crowd roars after song 1 and song 2, and something was a little disconnect. And Campbell and Mickey D were really, holding it together for him. And it was because the tempos were kind of slow, And he apologized. He said, I can't. He stopped in the middle of a song, and he says, I can't, but I'll be back in a minute. And they came out and they got him, and about 10 minutes went by. He came back out and apologized. And it was obvious that he was not healthy. He's not doing well, right? An army of grown men, they see the whole, not a dry eye in the house. No one was running to go get refunds.
Yeah.
0 refunds. Okay. I left the club I didn't blink. My mouth was on the floor. I'm like, this is what is going to happen. All of our, I'll just say heroes, that might be heavy for some people to think of, idols, legends. You pick your own word to feel comfortable within your own soul. I walk out of that. I'm writing the chorus before I get home. I was so compelled to put a tribute, to put in words what I just saw and what it means to me when I go back, and the history, and just as a fan first and foremost, and what those guys did for and to rock and roll and blues and everything else, right? And Lemmy is especially, right? Because the lineup changes, you have different versions of Motorhead, kind of. It's not all the same. Those first 3, 4, 5 records feel different than the rest of the catalog when you kind of look. I mean, Another Perfect Day is its own. It's almost like it's a different band.
Yeah, it's an outlier. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I love Black Sabbath, Born Again. It feels like a different band for some reason. You see what I'm saying? For the same reason. Yeah. So you think about all of that shit going through your head. Anyway, the lyrics are, I'm trying to be that, have that Lemmy spice through my head and my heart when I write that lyric, so you can kind of go through it. And I think that you got that. Not everybody understood that. As a matter of fact, you're the only one that ever talks about Never Dead. Maybe Metal Dave does too.
Well, Laurence too. But I'm gonna have to break out my Broken Teeth vinyl after this, and I'm getting a little misty here, man. Just hearing that story, that's incredible.
It was a big fucking deal, Don. It was it fucked me up. I cried when he died. I cried.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I saw him 2 weeks before he died, and but I at his 70th birthday party at the Whiskey.
Wow.
And I knew that was the last time I was going to ever see him.
Yeah.
I could just tell.
Yeah.
But as sad as I was, and as sad as we all were, I'm glad he died with his boots on, which is what he wanted to do.
That's right.
I'm going to go out on my terms. He'd done everything on his terms up until the day he died, which is, I'm getting on that stage and I'm going to play until I'm dead. And he did his, obviously he had, towards the end, he had some good nights and some not so good nights, but he continued on, and he never wanted to stop until it was time to go to that great Rainbow Bar and Grill in the sky.
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting that it's so sad, but we're smiling. We're so happy because of what he said and did, and we're championing that. And that's the spirit. That's the spirit of all of this. It's why we have a podcast. It's why you cross over your material with something that you really feel. It gives you bigger balls. You know what I mean? It gives you, like, you crossing, putting the rock music with, with your act. It gives you, it's like, man, I'm a headbanger and I'm a comic. I'm going to do this at the same time. And the fact that you're going out there and doing that like that and championing Motorhead, all your heroes, is fucking great.
I'm gonna plug that song real quick. The song that we're talking about that Broken Teeth did is called Never Dead. It's on the Four on the Floor album. So anyone listening or watching, if you want to revisit that song, Never Dead, Broken Teeth, Four on the Floor album, it's awesome. What I thought was really cool when I heard that song is the story that you told me that it came, by the time the song came out, the album came out, Lemmy had passed. So people were thinking that you wrote it as a tribute after he passed away, but the reality is you wrote it before he died.
That's right, because of the concert.
It was a living tribute to him while he was still alive. And back to the show that you're talking about, I believe that was here in Austin.
Yep.
He did like 3 songs and couldn't finish the set.
It was at Emo's.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And at Dawn, as you know, a hard rock, heavy metal audience is sometimes not the most forgiving bunch in the world. But there was not a person bitching about the fact that the show didn't go off as planned. They were just deeply concerned for Lemmy. They felt honored that they were even there in the first place to see that and witness that. I don't know that I've ever seen or heard anything like that where a performer can walk off stage 3 songs into a set that you paid your hard-earned money for and nobody's complaining.
There's not a riot. No one got hurt. Everyone's hugging and crying. And
it was an amazing tribute, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, that's the thing everybody said is, Lemmy that's as real deal as you could possibly get. He walked the walk and he talked the talk, and there was no pretense whatsoever. Lemmy was Lemmy. And, like I said, there is only ever, and ever will be one Lemmy. He was just a unique guy. And you saw when he passed, the level of respect that musicians had for him who were putting out on their social media, just how much, him and Motorhead meant to them. And, a lot of people you wouldn't expect as well. But obviously, again, I'm ashamed it took me 5 albums to pay tribute to them, but it was really meant to be this way.
Well, you did it right. I mean, you got the album cover, you got the font, you got the blessing of everyone concerned. So if it took you 5 albums to knock it out of the park, then that's fine.
You got the guitar player from Motorhead to open and close your record. That's pretty badass.